Remember, I told you I was going to tell you my story. And I would like to begin this. Uh, I want to start when I'm an older man. I, I caught an eye in 1978. I seen a woman passing wax bags through a door getting money. And I also seen women sell envelopes bag of weed back then. This is how I was introduced to drugs. What I knew what they were, but when I seen it happening, I didn't know what it was, but I kind of figured it out because they gave them cash. So I was trying to find a way, even though I was a child, trying to find a way how to make money. But I started off as a kid. I hustled bags at the grocery stores. Finished though I was short. They gave me $5, so I really didn't have to carry too many bags. I made $50 a day. So as I grew older, well, I thought I was older anyway, I was introduced to a drug game. When I came in this game, I seen times about to flip, things about to go wrong. The city is about to go down the wrong path. I kind of figured, I kind of knew what was going to happen, but I'll get to that. So I denied myself life. The path that I was going, I used to run track, I played football. I stopped all of it to stay home and to protect my family because I knew what was going to go down. That life was about to take a drastic turn. So I gave up my life to protect them. And I have no problem with what I done, even though it turned out a different way. But if I had to do it all over again, I still would. I gave up everything to protect them regardless. It is my way. It is not their way. So I can't blame them for being who they are. I only can accept who I am. But everything I will tell you will be nothing but the truth. So help me the Heavenly Father. So as I started moving through situations, I ran into a clip, and the clip told me that every dream you have, remember the dream. So I spent most of my life remembering every dream that I had. And I tell you this much, that these dreams, by remembering, when it showed up, I remember what the scene was and prevented myself from leaving this world. See, I knew that plenty of people hated me because I always put up positive energy, and I always helped people. No matter what your name was or if I knew you or not, I lend you a helping hand. Did not try to break your hands, but try to fill your hands while everybody tried to take from you. So when the 80s came, a lot of people came off the porch, and it became a political game where they played politics in the streets, where you had certain brothers who can tell other brothers that they can get paid off of drugs every weekly, and they fell for it. See, I was never that type of person that you can come with that solution. Nobody pays me every week. I pay my own self every day, and I'm not going to jeopardize myself for you fools. So a lot of people fell for that, and a lot of people wanted to be seen in everything that they do. I didn't care about being seen. Remember, I was doing it for my family, to stay here to protect them. So then I wound up in the streets. As I got deep into the streets, I had a friend, and his name was Little Calvin. That young man, how we met, I first moved in Eastgate, and I met him and his uncle. We was in the back of my mom's house the first time I met them. So we spoke a few words. Then I went to a school that's called Fletcher Johnson. As I arrived in Fletcher Johnson, remember the people I met, they was going to the same school that I was at. So how me and him got together, he he was shorter than me. But you know what? He had the heart of a lion, and I respected him because he stood up. And when he stood up, I didn't want to be the one to break him. So I had a friend that his name is Ronnie. So I made them fight each other because it would be much easier for them to fight each other instead of me. Because remember, when you're a leader, you don't want to break down your people because where you're going, unless you're a poisonous leader, when you're leading, where you're going, you want your people to be going with you. And y'all will reach the highest states if y'all stay together. So a lot of then I started dealing with women. So when I started dealing with women, all they did was tell me I cheated and who I cheated with, but had no clue. I was blamed for people's friends that I did not touch. I was blamed for so many things, and I can't sit up here and say that they forced my hand to go out here and sleep around, but I can say this: the human body cannot accept with so much blame before it do something about it. I was always judged that way because I never showed emotional feelings like other men. If I heard something or seen something, I never threw it in their face. I kept it to myself. So they always thought that I was the type of man that had no feelings, like I didn't care. So this is how they treated me. See, they would throw things in my face, and I would never bring up anything that's what was done to them or said about them. See, a lot of times they haven't seen me, and I seen them around other dudes, and they didn't act the same. They introduced them dudes to their body, even though they didn't give it at the time, but they still thought about it. And then, what I know about women, when you go into shelter with them to create sex, they'll have that same person in their mind and having sex with you, and the sex will be different. See, I'm a person that can pull on the emotions and understand that you're not sleeping with me. You're sleeping with somebody else, but you haven't been touched by them yet. So I try to explain to them that I understood what they was doing, but they paid me no attention. So I just kept moving the way I move, and if they didn't care, then I'll care, but I'll still maintain and be who I am. So when I moved around, I seen a lot of these brothers and these sisters never being together. All of them claiming love, but friends sleeping with friends' girls and backstabbing them in all types of ways. That's something I never done. And nobody can ever accuse me of anything like that. I never backdoored anybody with a female. See, I believe like this: a man is going to be a man, but a female must stay being a woman. And if she step out from being a woman, then that's her. It has nothing to do with me. I'm a person that mind minds, and I kept to minds. But anyway, back to the story. So, as I moved around in the 80s, I seen a lot of people coming off the porch. And they coming off the porch with this madness. And the governors came with this thing called code. You can see that the people in the streets did not create the code. The people that wasn't in the street created the code to hide their hands so the people in the streets can fall. See, it was a thing like this, that the street guy had so many women and everybody clinged to him. And then the other guy couldn't even get a woman. So he was upset with the street guy. So therefore, a lot of the street guys took the fall for a lot of people that wanted to have that type of energy. Then some of the guys that wasn't street guys found connection in while they was running through the government and supply certain individuals, but not knowing they was working for the FBI and the CIA and other groups, that these people was giving it to you. And then when the president election came up, then other dudes' names was called. This is how this thing ran for so long, that people didn't understand how they was getting caught and where it was coming from. But let me take you a little bit back. How the banks really got their structure. They got their structure from the drug game. See, a lot of people had so much money flowing around. And this when the government had everything in their hands, controlling everything while everybody was eating. Then other people created these banks where you can have this money to go inside. Then they started taking away. They brought up things called RICO and other things to persecute you for something they put out here. There's no black man or black woman that created drugs in the United States of America nowhere, because we don't even grow it. You have to go into another country to even bring it into this country. The FBI and the CIA knew who was bringing it, but under their umbrella, long as people got a piece of the cash, they wasn't worried about anything. So they allowed people to bring it through. The street guy had to take the fall while the non-street guy supplied them and played the game of the code, where you will never see that he's the person that's bringing you in. So you had a lot of fools. They became robbers from gambling on the floor, that they didn't even want to lose their money. And some of them just had so much hate in their heart that they wanted to be takers. So therefore, they started robbing their own friends that they went to school with, their own people that they ate at the table with. And that's how they started assassinating each other's character. As time went along, you understand me, that the wrong group of people has hit the street. They had no heart, but they changed, you understand, because somebody got in their ear, boosted morale, and then they became a soldier, but never really had the soldier stand. They was just playing these games, you understand, that they were soldiers. You understand? That's how a lot of them fell in prison. They never should have seen the inside of a prison. Because if you take a group of people and you create a movie like Scarface, and you created Kings of New York, you know what I'm saying, before the drugs hit the streets so powerful that these people will chase these things and want to become the same image that was programmed into your head. This is how vibrations work. They have to give you something, and you get to chasing that motivation. You understand me? And that's how a lot of people wind up in the streets in the 80s, where the streets was flooded in D.C., and the streets was flooded in New York, and the streets was flooded in Florida. See, in these places, then you had other places that came along in the later years, you know what I'm saying, like New Orleans, like Cleveland and all these other places. And then Chicago was never known for the things they're known for today. See, the reason why Chicago fell is the same way DC fell, is the same way LA fell. See, Chicago was set up, and they know they were set up because A lot of the people didn't want to sell their stores or houses. So how people got the stores and houses, they had to create violence, leaving guns in the alleyway for them people to wake up, and then bring in the violence so they bring down the property value so they can steal. See, this is not the white nations. This is the same people that look like us that pulled this scam, this move on all of us. Then people was looking for a scam, which is the scams came in the later years, infiltrating, looking like us, but scamming us the whole time. See, a lot of people just needed your social security number, your birth certificate, and your name, you know what I mean, to take out insurance on you, hoping you die, but they'll reap the benefits, taking out $200,000, $300,000, and $500,000 worth of insurance. Some of them took out millions and millions of dollars, waiting for you to die so they can cash out. This has been a game that now they play into the industry, where people are dying, where everybody cashing out and getting rich. See, nobody's a fool. See, I watched the game. I seen how people play the political game from the side. While we on the street, we selling nickel bags and everything, and the feds is coming down on us, but not seeing the people that's really orchestrating our downfalls. So I'm sitting up here watching everybody, the churches, everybody reaping benefits, taking the money and building their empire by buying the same hoods that so many bodies done fell inside of it. You understand me? And that they are the same ones that created these images, and the same ones that preyed on us and played these games inside of the church when the funeral comes about, when they're trying to bring up somebody's name. Some of the dudes were so wicked when they had a funeral for him, they always lift up their voice and said good things about a person that never had nothing good to say about. You understand? I guess they figured that was godly. But no, the truth is the truth, and that's what we speak on, is the truth. That is godly. So as I took a stand and stand up as a man, I walk the streets who I am, and always been who I am, and forever be who I am. So at the same time, as I started paying attention to everything and the doors I started to go through, because people had told me many things in the military aspect and everything else, but I would never name no names and have them prosecuted on anything, because these people knew exactly what they'd done and how they try to train our mentals and drug us into a game, and then prosecute us. As so many people doing time in prison right now today, where they shouldn't be sitting in prison for no things that grows upon this earth, and they were set up by the same people to put them in prison. See, everybody got fed, the judges, the lawyers, and everybody has orchestrated all these things because there are stocks in people. And when they put stocks in people, that is the new slavery. See, this is why Christ, the Bible speaks about different types of animals. You understand? The animals are identifying with the man, because we are cattle. You understand? If you understand chess, the pawns is the cattle. And then you have to reach to the bottom in order to turn into the queen, or you have to turn into any other piece. This is the same game that life has been played upon us, and the cards that have been dealt. See, one thing about it, you can't pull no cover over my head, because I was already watching you, already seeing where the money went at and came back down. The money has always wound up in Washington, D.C., but the people in Washington, D.C. wasn't receiving none of the money. See, New York is just a stock market where everybody trades, where all the scams go down, because the property value in New York was always high. The cost of living, people couldn't afford it, and they had the most bums that you have ever seen in your life, New York and California. Now the homeless is more. DC is gathering so much homeless because the wages of sin has fell upon the DC people. See, we could have changed the way we were seen and changed the way things operated through the prison system, but all we did is fail ourselves. See, we gathered in there, started robbing each and every individual, taking taking things. We learned nothing from the streets. We learned nothing that we were set up. We learned nothing. We just came and acting like clowns. And now we holding it down with each other, barricading, you understand, each other. But we all caught up in pain. There's no fathers in the house, but barely is mothers. But we still going through the same chain gang that was put upon us in the past, right into the future, right here and now. So I came up in this game, and I'm going to say I treated the game like I treat everybody, with love. I never try to use nobody, abuse nobody. But I believe that every man gonna have to be a soldier in anything that he's staying up in, no matter if he's a police officer, CIA agent, FBI, no matter if it's judge, lawyers, or whatever. You're gonna have to take a stand on something. You understand me? But anyway, let me get back to the story. I always used love and operated through love. I never played games with people, but I always made them believe that they was in control. Why? I see every move that they making. But at the same time, they thought they was using me because I was a kind-hearted brother. Listen, God made me. That's why I'm kind to you. That's why I help you. That's why I helped you. I know we was let down by our fathers and some of by our mothers, but I understood the problems and the pain that we go through because we are all going through the same things, but a lot of people want us to think that we different. So I took upon myself to understand everything, because when I was a child, when I came into this world, I did not like what I seen. All I seen was static, and then the music came back with static. So when static and static is going together, all it's doing is going to create havoc, crimes. I have to drop it like that because y'all wouldn't understand what I just said. You understand? It created a lot of pain and a lot of poverty in the set. So then we had gangs in Washington, D.C. back in the days, created by a movie called Colors. You understand? But after that, we woke up and them gangs separated themselves. We were walking around like fools. It used to be Detective Gosh's. He used to be at every place, knew everybody's name, knew all these brothers' names, and these dudes was allowing this dude to understand who they were, where they at, and everything. So he was acting like he was friendly with them, but all the time he was baiting them all in. See, these people didn't understand that they was being baited. They was just playing the officer friendly game to a bunch of fools. You understand? Thinking they was allowing them to get away, but all the time they was setting them up. Because a lot of brothers wanted to be noticed, but because they wasn't noticed. By being noticed, girls would see them and they would be able to sleep with a lot of girls because they had no mouthpiece. So they would use their money, the cars, and the clothes that they wear to even have a girl. See, I seen the direction where the drug game was going, where niggas didn't even have a clue. They thought people were snitching on them. They didn't have to snitch. You bought Maseratis, you bought jewelry, you bought all these things. Nigga, the police was already on you. Just because somebody took a stand, you already took the stand against yourself. But what I notice about my people always want to blame somebody else and point the finger at somebody else. That's a problem. So a lot of things I've been through, I never even spoke about them, or what people said in front of them people, and done these things from behind my back. When I got chased by 15 police cars and everything, I know who set it up and who played the role. When I got caught with a pistol, I know who gave up this information. I never said anything. I just kept it to myself, because it is not me going to point the finger at anyone or throw stones. I'm going to lean to God, and God is going to help me through everything that I'm going through. Because the reason why I put myself through this, to learn everything, you understand, not to hate nobody, but to join people that have the hate. Because by joining the people that have the hate, I will breathe and get all the understanding that I need to get me further and further in life. So a lot of people I spoke to were people or I listened to that people wouldn't even listen to, no matter if they smoked crack or shot dope or pimps or players, whatever you wanted to call these people. I spoke to them all, and I gathered information from a lot of sources and a lot of people. We used to have movies to come on TV like Feed the Children, but I had a lot of foreign friends, and a lot of them told me that that's nothing but a game. That didn't happen. They told me the stories, but I'm not going to go into it. Listen, remember, I come from Eastgate, the Queen Walk Eastgate, Drake Place, and they changed the name to Queen Strohs. The reason why it was so many murders in Eastgate that they publicized all around the world. The reason why they publicized these things around the world, because when people came into United States of America, they would look down on our people. You understand? And made it look like that we was mad and angry, that we was trying to hurt each other, hurt people. So therefore, people looked at us just like that way. We the ones that caused this effect. You understand? That people look upon us and look down on us. You understand? And making it look, black people look like we weird. Like everywhere they walk, we gonna rob them or beat them or steal from them or even kill them. You understand me? So they played this game. They fed this thing, city under siege and all these things. They played all these games with us, but the city was not under siege. How can the city be under siege when the governors, the same ones, put the drugs out there in the street? You understand me? They try to make the corner guy he's the pawn. He's going to take the fall for everything. We're going to supply him, and then when we get tired of him, we're going to take him in. This is the same game's been played for so long, and they still playing them at the end. They claim they cut all the borders where all the drugs came in. But notice they sent Mexico $1 billion years ago. What did they send Mexico $1 billion for? It is more drugs coming through Mexico, always have been. And the reason why it coming through Mexico, because it's coming through the Russians. A lot of people, they say they want to blame Chinese. Where do you see the Chinese bringing anything through Mexico? Anything to Florida? What coastline did they bring the drugs in? Yeah, they been having these talks for a long time and lying to us. When you can, if you know anything or understand anything, you will know directly where the drugs is coming from. But they claim beefs all around the world. We fighting against these people, when there's the same people that's letting the drugs in. Then you can have these people that everybody don't want to talk about, that you've seen in the movies. The reason why you've seen these movies when the Arizona desert, when they created casinos in these places, what you call Vegas today, how they created it, and it was the Italians that ran that spot. They had one Jewish friend, but they were studied. They didn't understand that it was being studied, and while they was being studied, remember, everything was taken away from them. The same way with us. They stood right beside us, act like they was friends with us, but baiting us in. You see a lot of it right now on the internet, where people going in here telling their stories and being incarcerated for their stories because they don't even know how to stop running their mouth. They were set up from the get-go. See, a lot of times you play the police in your own to your own self, but then you want to point the finger at everybody else. See, this is an ongoing game. I was in New York City, so I understand how the city ran. And in New York City, how they ran it, you would go pick up drugs, and the same people would drop a dime on you, just like the movie Belly. It wasn't no paperwork, but it was dudes dropping dimes on certain dudes, putting them in prison. This is how I arrived in prison in New Jersey. So I understood how things go. I understood how things flow. But I didn't blame all New Yorkers. I didn't blame none of them brothers. I understood how niggas move, you understand, so it made me move better. See, what I tell my people, everybody's playing the game, but you are the fool. When you think it's a serious code to the game, you the fool. When you think that these people really love you, then I'm going to shine something on you if they love you. If 5 dudes get in the car, one got a gun, why do 5 dudes got to go down for the gun and the man ain't take his own gun charge? I'll wait for you to answer that. Okay, a brother kills another brother. The man takes the time that didn't kill nobody. The brother that's still out here don't even take care of the dude's children or their parents. I'll wait for your answer. See, there's a lot of things I can name, but why would I name these things when people already understand about these things, that people don't care nothing about nothing but themselves, but act like they caring about others. See, a lot of people in the P now that come home forgot about the people in the P now. That's not the way we operate. We remember who saves us. We remember who loves us, and we bring love back. You understand? It don't matter if that man left in there. Sometimes the family done left him behind. But remember, that man gave you a helping hand. You understand? To strengthen you. So therefore, he's still going to need the strength back. This is what man do. This is how we hold it down for each other. We do things like that. But some people want to play the game, play fools. You understand? Play a person that's like a fool because they, you know, they not a part of the game. They took another way to life because of pain that they was going through. So you use your tongue and make them believe that you spent all this money, you understand, trying to get them out, and you lied. And everybody know you lied. If you tell that story to anybody, everybody will know you lying. You understand me? Because nobody goes down, spend all this money and know they're going to still be incarcerated. That's only a fool. It's like a mouse going, see the mouse trap, see the cheese, know it's a mouse trap, but going to step in it anyway. I'm going to tell you many more stories of my life, but I just want to give y'all a little thing of where I'm coming from, man. I don't want to take y'all off tracks. You know what I mean? I just want to drive the car and make sure I'm driving it right so I can get you to where I'm going with everything. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say that it wasn't the person on the corner, it was the setup. The setup guy was some of the people that was around you that wasn't on the corner that hated your guts. And now you got people, got apartment buildings and everything. These niggas didn't even have no money. First of all, they was on drugs. They didn't have no money, and their family ain't died and left them no money. So as many brothers that went to prison, where did the money come from? I'll leave y'all with that. And when I show up again, I'm going to tell you more things about my life and how shit goes. You heard me?